Good morning, Gert. It's a pleasure to be out and seeing this wonderful activities gone. Tell us about H.O.P.E and yourself and
Sure.
what you have going here.
Okay, Marty. Well, glad to have you. Wonderful that you picked a great day for it. Beautiful weather. Well, this is one of H.O.P.E's projects, and H.O.P.E, as you probably know, the name is an acronym that stands for Helping Open Paths to Employment, H.O.P.E. And we try to work with homeless people to help them get back into employment. So it's a development rather than a relief model. We don't want to just hand out and give them things that will last for a day. We want to help them develop themselves to become self-sufficient, where they won't depend on handouts and panhandling and stuff. And the garden, the organic garden project here at Doug's place is one of the projects of H.O.P.E. And it's one that's still dear to my heart, and it's taking a lot of my time right now, and I'm really enjoying it. We've developed this project, this garden. We're growing corn, tomatoes, squash, peppers, and other things here, and it's going to develop into quite a garden, I think, organic garden as we go. This is only the second year. The first year was only a little short attempt, and this year is still kind of experimental, so hopefully we'll be in full gear next year. But that's where we are.
So take me on a walking tour. Let me follow you. And
sure.
So
let's go. This is this morning I'm trying to work in this entrance, these stairways down from the driveway, so we can do that without eroding the hill. We want to respect the place we have and not cause damage. A while back we got donated a small greenhouse. We moved it here. Had one of our participants build a little foundation for it and a floor to put it up. Now I'll have to have other people work on putting the glass panes back in and cleaning those up. And we'll be growing seedlings and things in that, herbs and seedlings, so for our project. This is a place where we keep most of our tools and gear. And we dragged up a lot more potted plants and trees and things that we'll be planting over the next few days. We also have Doug donated a portable toilet back there for us that we'll use when necessity warrants. We have to go. But anyway, you can see the corn. I don't know if you can catch that into the light, but let's walk down here. And one of the big challenges we've had is bringing water up here. And Doug has paid for the drip system on his property, so we dug a trench and brought the water from down below, from his house down there, all the way up the hill. And we put in drip systems on timers. So here's where the corn ends. You can see where the squash went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of squash. We've got both butternut and delicata squash growing here. And we're starting to harvest it. Some of it's starting to ripen. Here you can see some of the squash that's starting to ripen, the butternut and the delicata that looks more like a large cucumber in there. And then this last row before we start the tomatoes is the half a row of basil and half a row of jalapeno peppers. So we've got it all. And then we've got a tomato jungle down here, about 8 rows of tomatoes. And we constantly have to trim those or train them back up into the string we've put up, but it's growing pretty tall. I left the saw up by mistake. Okay. So it's an overgrowth of tomatoes. We've got red cherry tomatoes and we've got yellow pear. 2 varieties. They're both small tomatoes, not a large kind, but they're really tasty. They're really good eating for salads and things. And down here at the bottom of the garden, this last row, we haven't planted anything yet, or we planted a few tomatoes in the far end, but this is our experiment. This is a hugel culture. Hugel, that's a German term. It started in Germany. It's a term where We actually conserve water by digging a trench and putting a pile of logs in all the way through. So there's about a 2-foot high pile of logs under that dirt. And then we cover it with dirt. We soak the logs, and the logs act as a sponge, and they decompose, and they basically will conserve water. We don't have to water quite as often. So we want to grow our perennials in there. We're going to plant some berries and other things along this row. I've got some blackberries. Hopefully we can find some raspberries and loganberries and other things we can plant in there. I'd love to have a variety of things we plant. One of our participants had a whole lot of trees that were potted, and we rescued those and brought them down here. We're going to be planting those hopefully tomorrow, some of those, and I think we might be planting some of those down here. I'm not sure. So we'll have a variety of fruit trees: mulberry, apricot, apple. So we're going to have a great variety of things in this little garden. It's a little over an acre, a little less than an acre.
So talk to us about the people that work this and how that works into what your goal is to really be able to help people find jobs and to make a living and all.
Well, that's good, and that whole vision is evolving. I mean, the vision for Hope initially was to get them into volunteer projects where they'd spend 3 to 6, 9 hours a week on various volunteer projects. Some of them community service. So we clean up the streets in downtown Goleta as a project. We work at food bank. We come here at the garden. They've also done some jewelry which we sell, and some other things. But basically, it gets them in the habit of working. We work on work habits, being punctual, being reliable, and working hard when they work. So being accountable to others, and we can witness that and be able to provide a reference when they go out in the real world and apply for a job. So we're a good reference, and we have some contacts and connections with employers that can help them sometimes. We've gotten several people employed over the past year. So.
And this is sort of a co-op, is it?
We want to develop, that's our goal in a lot of areas. Many of the homeless will never really be employable. I wouldn't say never, that's a strong word, but aren't really employable right now. So we've tried to develop worker co-ops. And our first attempt at that was jewelry, and that kind of fell apart, unfortunately. But this will be our next co-op attempt. We'd like to develop the garden as a worker co-op so that the people that are working in the garden will actually own it, and whatever proceeds we generate from the garden will be split up among the people that own it. They won't own the land. Doug owns the land, that's fine, but they'll enjoy the benefits of this garden.
So you allegedly are retired from Hope, and I've come and I've watched you now in your retirement, and you do more work in retirement than I think I've done in my lifetime.
Well, yeah, we cut back from the main Hope projects, the other work projects, and the main Monday meeting 2 months ago. So that did relieve quite a bit of stress and pressure, but I'm still involved in the garden. This is healthy. This is healing for me. It's great to be out here working in the dirt and seeing things grow. And you know, that's really kind of the healing thing that we want people to get involved in. Them working and watching plants grow and seeing God's gifts in these plants, this food, is a wonderful way just to heal from all the negative stuff that's been dumped on them when they're homeless and stuff.
So how can other faith communities and other groups support you and this operation and the people that it serves in this community?
You can, if you've got the time, you can come volunteer and help us. We'd love that. You can buy our produce or jewelry. You can talk to Laura and some of the other leaders about working as a mentor, a counselor. So we can work on that. So there are a lot of opportunities to help and work with us.
Well, Gert, thank you for sharing. I've listened to you in our HEAL meetings and have observed and appreciated you and your wife in this wonderful program. And it's a delight to have the opportunity to come out and see it firsthand. Is there anything that you want to say as we conclude our time together this morning?
Sure. Go down these rows and grab a few tomatoes. They're delicious. I want you to enjoy them too, and I really appreciate them.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Gert. What a pleasure being with you.
All right.